Welcome to week 2 of the Align Business Accelerator. This week we are going to be speaking about your genius zone and why it's so important to have a really key focus on what that is as you build, start and grow your business. So I will just click into viewing the screen fully. All right, so your genius zone. Have you ever heard of what that phrase means? Have you heard it being, branded around in the entrepreneurial space? Your genius zone and why it's so important. That's what we are going to be covering today. And the reason I've got it so early on is I see it as a key building block in designing your what you're going to be offering your clients, your services, your product of services. It is such a key to put in place before really taking what you're offering out there to marketplace. And if you've already been selling your services, that's fine. You'll be able to get some really good clarity and focus and redefined what you have to offer clients based on what we talk about today. So, what are the key topics for today? We're going to be using the power of focus to identify your key skills, strengths, and expertise so that you can speak about them with ease and flow. We're going to uncover the key outcomes that you provide for your clients, or that you will be if you're starting out. And this is what I've referred to in the past as knowing your easy button. So knowing what you do, who you do it for, this will provide the rich foundations you need to start to build your powerful, profitable package of services, which is what we're going to be doing a little later on in the coming weeks. This package of services is one of the key things that will have you making much more impact and income as opposed to selling your services by the hour. And also today we're going to unpack the richness of your personal story to more clearly see how powerful your experiences have helped to create who you are today. Plus, this is actually what your prospective clients really want to know about. People buy from people rather than businesses. So if they can connect with you on a more personal level any way possible, that will encourage and inspire them to get to know you more, build, that trust, know, like factor, and connect with you and want to, work alongside you and buy your services if it's a right fit for them. So let's get into it. So what is your genius zone? If you have ever read The Big Leap, the book by Gay Hendricks, you'll know what I'm talking about with this specific zone of genius box that you see here on the slide deck. And if you haven't had a chance to read it, I really recommend downloading a Kindle or audiobook version or going to get a paperback copy of it. It's super helpful to shift your mindset to probably more of the familiar territory that you've had into a more learning environment and take that big leap into entrepreneurship or the big leap to the next stage of your business. I found it to be a really powerful book and I would recommend it. And what this author, Gay Hendricks, talks about is these 4 zones. And they're designed to have a look to see, well, what is the current work that you're doing and does it fit into this zone? Or could you actually drill a little deeper into what your genius zone is and therefore align your work and your lifestyle around your zone of genius to make life a little more pleasurable and have a higher flow of income and satisfaction with the work that you do. So let's have a look. So here you've got your zone of incompetence to start with. So this is work or things that you do that you're not really good at it, you don't enjoy it, and many people can do it better. So there are a number of things I can think of for myself, my zone of incompetence. So, for example, computers and IT are not in my zone. They are in my zone of incompetence rather. But as I've developed in my entrepreneurial journey, I have gotten better and better with technology and online platforms that help with marketing. But I'm talking more, the deep computer stuff. And then you've got the zone of competence. This is where you are average at something. Time drags a little when you do it. and some people do it better. So, for example, bookkeeping, invoicing, that type of thing, I can do it, I'm competent at it, but I really don't enjoy it. I know other people would get a lot more satisfaction of doing it. So that's in my zone of competence. So you can think of this as some tasks that you do in your business, and you'll be able to clearly more identify the more we work up these boxes of zones rather. Is what are some of the work is that you're doing? Does it fit into this zone or another zone? And will help you delegate a little more as well. Then you've got the zone of genius. This is where you are, let's go back one further to the zone of excellence. This is where you're highly skilled at something, not that many people do it better, you really enjoy it and it brings a lot of satisfaction. So this is a good zone to be a part of as well. It doesn't necessarily mean that all of the things that you do in your business are going to be only in your zone of genius. But I'll drill down a little further on that in a little bit. So zone of excellence is, something that you have, pretty good at skill at, you really enjoy, brings a lot of satisfaction. It's a positive space to be in as well. And your zone of genius. So this should actually read exceptional. You're exceptional at this, you love doing it, time stops when you do it, and no one does it quite like you. And we're going to talk about what the quite like you aspect means in today's session as well. Yes, I'm sure there are many people out there doing the work that you're doing. I'm sure you're not the very own person doing anything like it. However, when you bring in your particular way of working with clients, when you bring in your authentic story and what has driven you to do the work you do, that aligns with your passion and what you're really good at. That's what defines you as doing something that no one else is doing it quite like you. You can really put a specific and authentic spin on your business, your core messaging, your marketing, how you communicate and sell to clients. You can really do this in a completely authentic way, which has you standing out to be different than the rest of your industry who perhaps are doing it quite similar. So these are the four zones, and it's important to look at your current business. And I'm sure, and having spoken to each and every one of you, I know that each and every one of you has chosen to do what you're currently doing in terms of starting and building and growing your business, because it does link up with your zone of genius. So that's really important to recognize and celebrate, that you have chosen something that you do that does align with your zone of genius. And I know that there's also a couple of people in the group who are still figuring out what it is that they want to develop in terms of a business, and this will help you to develop this a little further as well. Think about something that you think you might want to start. Where does it fit? What box does it fit? It's so important to build the foundation of your business around this zone of genius. Yes, sometimes you'll be doing some work in your business in the other areas, excellence, competence, hopefully not too much incompetence, more these areas here. To begin with, you're going to have to start to do your invoicing or whatever it is here, and then in time you can outsource that. But these are the boxes that you want to be mostly focusing on. So grab a copy of that book if you can. All right, so let's go into why is your genius zone so important? People talk about it, define what it is, they talk about how to find your genius zone, but why is it actually important for a business? Why is it one of the key foundational elements to making sure that you're building a really great business? And here's why. So these are the three main factors of business foundations, in my humble opinion. So first of all, you need to be able to have something to sell and a person to buy what you're selling. That's obviously the very foundation of business. And in order to do something that is unique and different in this marketplace, people are seeing, a lot of similar things out there. They need to see something that is a little more unique and inspires them to take action. So why it's important to find your genius zone and link it in with your business is so that, one, you can feel more authentic and aligned to what you're doing as a business owner, as a service provider, and two, so that you can connect with your ideal client in a really powerful way that speaks almost directly to them, which inspires them to take action, to download something of yours, to book a call with you, to take a meeting with you, and then obviously to become a client of yours. So here's this sweet spot that we're looking for. You can see on the slide deck here. This is your ideal client, your genius zone, and the transformation that you help provide for your clients. When you line up all these three areas, this creates your very unique, powerful, profitable offering, which is your service, which is what you're selling, right? So when you bring in all of these key elements, when you know what your genius zone is and you bring that into what you're offering your clients, when you know who your ideal client is and what her challenges and problems are and where she's currently at, where she'd like to be, when you know that, you bring that into the picture too. And we also know the transformation that she, your ideal client, is looking for, her desired reality, the reason that she, wants to work with you. When you know the transformation that she's looking for and you line it up with what you can provide, that creates a sweet spot. So, for example, if your genius zone, and this is actually not anyone in this group, I wanted to choose something obviously, quite different, so we can focus in our group calls on people. So particularly if, for example, this is my example, if somebody is very good at designing websites, their genius zone is being able to, really be good with the technology, with designing websites, perhaps WordPress. They're very good creatively. They're really good at designing this, wonderful looking website. That's part of their genius zone. Their ideal client is somebody who's really, wanting to have a website and links in beautifully with, her story, and perhaps they've had some similarities in their journey, and she's looking for a web designer who is authentic and does a really wonderful job and has that creative flair and spark, and is really good at marketing. So she's looking for someone with those expertise and skills and strengths, and so there's that match there. Now, the transformation that client is looking for is to obviously have a website that is interactive for her clients, so that people can, buy and contact, and she can grow her business. That's the transformation that she's looking for, something that enables her to market and sell with a little more ease, and she's looking for that transformation. And that's exactly what this woman here, the person who's a website designer, that's the transformation that she helps people provide. So you can see this beautiful connection with all three circles, and when you bring them together, that what she's selling, this woman here from her genius zone, is this unique, powerful, profitable offering of website design package of services. So that's why it's so important, because here's the thing. Often what I see with a lot of my clients is that they're highly skilled, amazing women who've had incredible journeys, wonderful stories, skills and qualifications to match. And so what they try to do, and I have been guilty of this in my first business, is try to be everything to everyone. They forget about the genius zone and they just go, well, I can do that, and I can do that, and I can do that. And they create lots of different offerings, based on probably these three areas. And that's where they fall down, because as soon as you start being everything to everyone, that's where you can lose your niche. That's where you can lose your your opportunity to build your business in a more effective and actually quicker way. I know sometimes when we start out, we think, I want to I want to be selling, anything to anyone just to get this kick started. And, there might be the odd time where you do that. But the more you can niche and align to your genius zone, the better, the better business growth will be, and the more satisfied you'll be as well. From my own personal experience, when I've offered things, offer services in my zone of competence, you know what? It feels like I'm being an employee again. I'm doing work that I'm pretty good at, but or I'm okay at, but I'm not loving it. Doesn't align to my genius zone. Doesn't align to the reason that I want to create a positive impact, and it just gets quite mundane. So try not to recreate your corporate job in your business, and this is what I often sometimes see when people have started out. They've just recreated their corporate job and wonder why they're dissatisfied. So, you know what? If you're going to go into business like all of you have or will be, make it awesome, make it fun, make it aligned to something that you're really good at, that you're passionate about, that you want to take this risk of starting a business on because it's that important for you. So that's why it's important to know and find and work on your genius zone. Here's some other areas of why it's so important. The power of focus. And this is also why it's important, but there's some how-tos that I'm going to be offering here as well. And the power of focus is incredibly important to really, as I said, niche down. You can be everything to anyone, but it's not a sustainable business model in terms of offering a whole heap of different services to different kind of ideal clients, to provide different types of transformation for clients. The more niche that you can get to this slide, you've got a really clear package of services that links to your genius zone, that links to what your ideal client wants and needs, and the transformation she's looking for, she or he, and the transformation that you help provide for people. The more that you can line up to that, the more powerful your sales and marketing will be, and the more satisfied you'll be with your business. So that's what I mean by the power of focus. Focus in on these core areas and be disciplined about it. I know that it can be easy to, offer things in your zone of competence, for example, and there might be the odd occasion where you need to just to get things kick-started. Try to really have that power of focus to your genius zone, because it helps, as I've said, helps you niche your offering. It helps you niche your ideal client, and it helps you niche the transformation that you can provide for your client. The more specific and focused you're offering, the more easier it is for that ideal client to identify that, yes, you are the person that she wants to work with, and your package or offering, your package of services, your offering of services is exactly what she's looking for. And how do I buy? You don't want people to go, well, hang on a minute, what does this person stand for? What are they offering? I don't even know quite what kind of outcome that I can get from this. You don't want to confuse the market and be everything to everyone. That's a real key. This happens a lot to people when they go to their website, for example, and it's not clear on what they have to offer. And particularly also when you start to have more discovery calls, which are the complimentary calls you do prior to enrolling or onboarding a new client. We're going to talk about that as the weeks go on. In your discovery calls or the meetings you have face-to-face with people, the more clear and succinct and focused you are in articulating your offering and trying to uncover the needs of the person that you're looking to work with, the more clear you are, the less confused your client is, and the more easy it is for them to take action. So we don't want to confuse the market by being everything to everyone. And also why it's important is that identifying your key skills, strengths and expertise allow you to speak with more ease and flow. And that's what it's about. When you're speaking about, if you're speaking from an area of your zone of genius, really things flow with so much more ease and grace, and that's what we're looking for. We don't want this business journey to be hard at every turn. Linking in with this area of genius allows you to really speak with confidence, ease, and flow to your clients. This is what you do, this is what you offer. It rolls off the tongue, it feels authentic, and you feel really powerful about speaking about it. Okay, moving on to the next one. So then how do you find this genius zone? How do you actually find it? This can be a bit of an enigma to actually find it, but I'm going to share with you some steps on how to do that. So the first step is working out and really being a lot more clear on your story. Know your story, and I want you to actually write out what you have done, what you have learned, what you have loved doing, and what you're really great at, along with obviously the qualifications and certifications that you have done in this space. Now, this can actually be quite a beautiful exercise to do. So I'd encourage you to take half an hour or an hour of your time, sit quietly away from any distractions, perhaps even off your laptop. It might be nicer for you to write this out. It's up to you. So pick some time where there's no distractions, and you can really focus in on this. And what I want you to do, a really helpful way to do this exercise, is to go back to, where things started to come about that you were really passionate about something. So even in your younger years before you started working, you might list out some of the things that you did that align with this sort of area of passion. And in each of the things that you have done in both your career and your life, jot out some of the key things that you have learned specifically from that experience or that time in your life, and really focus in on the areas that you love doing. So for example, you can, if you look at over a section of a couple of years and you remember doing this specific thing you absolutely loved, it will stand out for you a lot more than the more mundane things. So you don't really need to list out all of the things, focus more on the things that you loved. Not the fact that, you did this job for 6 months, but, you hated it. I mean, you could actually write it down, because it'll help really differentiate between your zones of excellence and genius as opposed to competence or even incompetence. So do write out everything. It could be really powerful for you to do. And then really link in, what did you love doing? What were you really great at? What was the power of your story? Why did you decide to become, a marketing person, a kinesiologist, a photographer, a wedding planner, someone who works with Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander women to bring about excellence in them? What is it? And, obviously I've listed off some of the people's businesses and what they do here in the group. What is it that has actually compelled you to do the work that you do? There's a beautiful story in that, and the more that you define it, the more powerful it is to share with people. So I really want you to write out your story. And then I want you to look for themes, to unpack the richness of your personal story, to more clearly see how powerful your experiences have helped to create who you are today. It's super powerful to do this, and it's even super powerful to write down some of the shittier experiences that may have happened in your life, because sometimes they're the ones that actually have compelled us forward to create, the business that we have today. Plus, this is so super important. Your prospective clients really want to know this. They really want to know who you are. They really want to know what you're about. And they want to, connect in with that powerful, powerful story. So can you start to see some of the themes or a process that you have created around this exercise? It's really important to start to see those themes and processes, because this is going to help define that powerful package of services, which we're going to cover in a couple of weeks. This is the foundations for it. And step 3 is your easy button. Excuse me. So tying in with your Genius Zone, can you start to see core outcomes that you can provide for your clients, or obviously will be, excuse me. So knowing what you do and who you do it for will provide rich foundations that you need, obviously, to start to build your powerful, profitable package of services. This is the one that helps you make more income and impact, which is what we're going to be discovering as the weeks go on. So can you start to see some outcomes that you can provide for your clients? And going back a couple of slides, this is related to the transformation that you help provide for people. Can you start to see where your Genius Zone can help to create a really cool package of services that your ideal client loves and needs, because it's the transformation that she is looking for and links with what you can help her do through your consulting or coaching, or providing a service to her. So knowing that easy button, when it's aligned to your Genius Zone, it becomes a lot easier because you're good at it, you love it, you're passionate about it, and that really comes out when you're working and speaking with clients. Now, if you are finding it challenging, do not despair. I totally understand. It took me some time to come to figure this out for myself. It took a lot of experiences. I didn't have somebody working with me one-on-one at the time, so it took me a lot longer. When I did work with a coach, that's when things really started to come forward for me. So if you are feeling it challenging for you to figure out your zone of genius, I've got 2 extra options for you. One is to ask the people close to you who've seen you in action, and ask them what their perspective is on you and your Genius Zone. What do you think I'm good at? Why do you think I'm good at it? What do you see, when I do X, Y, Z, for example? Ask the people who've seen you in action doing what you do. And if you haven't even started yet in your business or providing the services, or you're still figuring out what those things are, this can be a powerful exercise to help drill down on focusing on what you'd like to actually build your business around. Ask people around you, what areas they see you being good at. And this isn't really important too. My second tip for you is to book in a one-on-one session with me, and we can nut this out together. Sigh of relief. Now, all of you have 3 sessions as part of your Aligned Business Accelerator membership, and you can book in with this link. I'll also post this link to the group. So all these sessions are part of what you have signed up for in ABA. And we can really spend a session nutting this out together. Sometimes it can feel a little like a challenging thing to do on your own. I have felt this as well, and it really helped me unpack what I wanted to, focus on. So if you would like some help in that area, you can choose one of your 3 sessions to focus on this. No problems at all. And that is the Zone of Genius this week. I will look forward to learning your thoughts on it and having calls with you if you'd like, or sessions around this with you if you'd like. And go through the workbook that I've provided, spend some time really nutting this out, because again, it is one of the key foundations for a successful business, and that's why we're doing it in the order that we're doing. So we're going to be getting into developing your package of services and how to market and promote it and sell it actually in the coming weeks. So do spend some time on this foundational piece. It will help help you go a lot further. Have a great week, and please do keep in touch via the Facebook group if you've got questions or you want to share some wins or some understandings that you've had in the group. It'd be great to see you there. Thank you so much.